A Kawasaki just about to bring us a mid-range adventure bike, or kind of an old school adventure bike that we used to have back in the day. A KLE? Is that going to come to us? Well, this is what one of the press here in the UK are talking about. Vice down. Great, a little article here. Kawasaki have just released a kind of teaser video on their social media, and I'll overplay it for you here as well. But it's basically this new adventure bike that's supposed to have really been shown to us already from last year, and this is reflected in the piece here as well. And they're talking about, well, this was kind of, we had little glimpses of this last year at the Motorcycle Live show and the run up to that, but we haven't had actually anything since. So you kind of think, well, what's happened to it? What's been going on? No. So what engine size is it going to be? They're talking here, is it going to be a 500cc KLE adventure bike? And the video kind of shows that, there's somebody riding a bike here. It's a front tire hugging mud guard on it. You can't really tell much of it, really. I just remember the KLRs, the 650s, when they first came out, and they're sort of was it mid-80s? Let me just check. When did the KLR 650 first come out? KLR 650, when did it first come out? Is first came out in 1987. Yeah, that's about right, actually. That's about when I thought it was. To the KLR 600, that's what I'm really thinking about, in 1984. So mid-80s, when I first saw that green KLR 600, I thought, wow, what a bike, what a machine. And I was 14 at the time. I think I can't wait to get that bike, because I was heavily into my off-road riding, right, scrambling, motocross, that kind of thing. And I thought, when I get onto the road, that's the bike that I want. I was never really into my road bikes, or even, racing bikes or anything like that. That came later, road riding. But, growing up as a kid and then getting onto the road, it was always going to be scramblers, trail bikes, that kind of thing. The 600, the KLR 600, the mid-80s, I thought, wow, that's amazing. I think it had quite a few issues at the time. But then that KLR 650 came out, and that was, 1987. I thought that was amazing. That's a mainstay for such a long time. So Kawasaki, for the longest time, this hasn't been available in the UK, this KLR 650. I think in the United States it was still being sold, or it started to be resold again. But there was a gap in the market, or the gap in the Kawasaki lineup for this kind of bike that lots of people had affection for. And I was one of them, right? And I always thought, wow, this would be an amazing bike just to have fun on, but also have the legs to be able to go down the road at the higher speeds. So it will be that perfect. It's not an adventure bike. It will just be like an off-road bike, off-road capable bike, and you'd be able to go on adventures. You'd be able to have soft luggage that you could strap to the side of it, not hard luggage. It'd be relatively compact, relatively light, let's say, or lighter than the big adventure bikes. And also, there'll be less to it, so even if it did get dropped, you wouldn't be having to spend thousands to repair it. It would be rugged enough to do what it's supposed to do, unlike a lot of adventure bikes, or certainly bigger adventure bikes, where you think, well, do I really want to take this off-road and, get it dirty and get it scratched and get it damaged? I would, but many people wouldn't. So there's KLR 650. We always wanted it in the UK, or Europe, say bring it back, but it was never going to come back, right? I believe they could have brought it back, but they didn't. But now, teasing this new one come out, what style it would be, whether it's this, well, by the reports here, or by the video, you're seeing as a body, or it's a wheel hugging, or a front wheel hugging mud guard, but it could be slightly different. It could be a combination of two. Have a high mud guard on it as well, or there could be an option for a high guard variant, or a wheel hugging variant as well. But if it's a 500cc, that'll be a good engine. That'll be a good engine for this. You don't need anything more than that. That'll be perfectly good as it is. I mean, we're looking at Some of this messaging was seen on display at the Kawasaki Standard Motorcycle Live, yeah, which featured an off-road tyre on a spoke wheel with a single brake disc bursting out of a box. That was what we were shown last year. Life's a Rally, the KLE. Last year we were mistaken. Yeah, they thought it was going to be a 650, but the KLE650 is actually the coding for the Versys 650, which is more road focused, right? So it'd be interesting to see whether they're predicting it's a KLE, it's a 500cc. Regardless of whether it's a 500cc or a 600cc or a 650, whatever they decide to call it, they could call it a KLR, KLE, KBE, CTE. It doesn't really make a difference. It's the bike that matters. And does it bring the kind of riding that a lot of people may want to ride, may want to have? That kind of on-road, off-road kind of capability, just utility, just fun, just get out there, and you can ride and commute to it. You can go off-road, you can go to the shops on it, you can park it anywhere, you can drop it anywhere, you know, that kind of thing. Are we about to see Kawasaki enter the market with this kind of bike? We've been talking about it for a year. We've been waiting for Kawasaki to do something about it. And the European market and the British market has missed the KLR 650, has missed that off-road, that KLR 600 when it was first introduced in the 80s. As a teenager, I was couldn't wait to get older to have one of those bikes. I remember there was a guy who used to ride through our town all the time on one of these. I must have been about 14, 15, and it was just riding through, and I just thought, wow, what a machine, what a great machine, love it, because it appealed to my kind of riding and what I was doing myself. I thought, wouldn't that be great to have that kind of bike on the road? And when I got onto road riding, my first road bikes, they were all trail bikes. They're all trail bikes because I love that kind of riding. And then I kind of got twisted in my mind and went on to road bikes and bigger, more powerful bikes. But really, I should have actually gone for a KLR 600 at the time and tried to buy one of those. That would have been fantastic. But I'm really excited for this. Really excited to see this, whether it's a KLE500 for Kawasaki to bring it out. If they're going to introduce it at the EICMA, if they're going to introduce it in Motorcycle Live, still not clear as to what it is. And then price point, who knows? Who knows what it is? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, they're talking about an original KLE 500. That was a 498cc parallel twin engine, 43 brake horsepower. It all goes on. I mean, they're saying that they wouldn't be surprised if this KLE is being powered by the same 451 parallel twin that's used in the Eliminator 500 Cruiser and the Ninja 500. I'm not so sure. Who knows? Who knows? At this point, it's just a supposition. But interesting to see that whether this will be fully shown at EICMA in a few weeks' time. Well, it's about 4 or 5 weeks' time now. It's November, isn't it? So it would be very interesting. I can't wait for it. Can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to see, what people think of it as well. But listen, Kawasaki, they're bringing this mid-range adventure, proper adventure bike, as I would call it, not something that you have big boxes on that's big and bulbous. It's something that's really narrow, really compact. You can strap things to it and off you go on adventures as well. Not necessarily two-up riding. This is just you, man, machine, or woman and machine, of course, just going off and having your adventures. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, keep on watching, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.